You want to know why gangster anime doesn't get made very often? Because the Japanese don't have gangsters. Yes, they have Yakuza, but those are two very different kinds of people who unfortunately get lumped together because of a scant few similarities, and it's easy to explain one by referencing the other. But the few times that a good, proper mob story has been animated, we normally see a good storyline. My theory behind that is that the only people who would want to write a mob story are those that already know that kind of pulp narrative inside and out, which in turn makes for some great storytelling. So Baccano and the majority of Gungrave come to mind, and I've always thought that mob stories and gangster films have good narratives, which is hilarious because I've never watched The Godfather. Blasphemy, I know. It's like a film student saying that they've never watched Citizen Kane. But I know everything that happens in The Godfather. All 3 parts. My high school was made up of 80% Italians, and one of my good friends even told me that it was a Christmas tradition with his family to watch all 3 Godfather parts after dinner every year. So yeah, I know everything that happens in The Godfather. Moving on back to 91 Days. What we have here is a gangster mob revenge story set during the era of Prohibition. As a child, our main character Angelo unfortunately witnessed his parents and brother murdered in their own home by mobsters who were looking to wrench control from those currently in power. Through quick thinking and wits, he managed to escape, and now 7 years later he receives a message from a mysterious benefactor who gives him the names of the mobsters who killed his family. Now armed with this knowledge, Angelo integrates himself into the mobster society, waiting for the right moment to kill them all and receive his revenge. Of course, I'm making it sound much easier to pull off than it actually will be. You can't just stroll up to a mobster's house, go, "Say hello to my little friend," and expect that everybody's going to die the way you want it. It takes this layer of subtlety and finesse to it, and thankfully that seems to be what Angelo has so far. After the first couple of episodes, though, other interesting aspects are thrown into the mix as well. It sort of feels like it's kind of become this buddy cop comedy with 2 of our main characters, even though you know full well that the story will eventually get to a place where they have to face off against each other. Which is interesting in and of itself. And that's not a spoiler, by the way. The promotional art shows off at least that much, so it's hardly an uncommon prediction. But even still, the show has done a good job at keeping relevant information from the audience when it wants to. In fact, the first few episodes, it almost keeps us in the dark entirely as to what the hell is going on, only informing us at just the right moment for that information to be relevant. Normally, a thing that I like to see is where we, the audience, know everything, and the entertainment lies in us watching the characters figure it out. It's the Columbo approach to storytelling. Mostly, this is because I hate being in the dark, and too often I watch or read stories that keep things in the dark because they think they're trying to be cool and mysterious, only for the final reveal to be far less than what we expected. 91 Days, though, has kept a good balance. It started off with leaving us in the dark, but then after a bit, now we know as much as the main character, but not what he plans on doing with that information. One thing, though, that we don't know is why the series is called 91 Days. Originally, I thought it might be a time limit of some sort or have some sort of major significance with Angelo's backstory, but so far that has yet to manifest itself, so I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out. Also, I'm curious as to how the series plans to end itself. It's an original story, it's not an adaptation or anything, so they can end it however they please. This does mean that there is a high possibility that Angelo will not make it through his revenge plot alive. If so, how does he die? If not, what does he do afterwards? He was shown to be a kind of closeted wreck of a man before getting the benefactor's list. So will he go back to that? Will they shoehorn in some love interest to give him a purpose beyond revenge? Will they give him some other kind of reason to live? Who can say at this point? Well, if all goes well, 91 Days has the potential to be one of the better narrative stories of the season, potentially even for the year. So if this kind of thing is to your liking, then I would highly suggest that you check it out. So yes, my answer to the question of whether or not 91 Days is worth watching is currently a yes. There is so much potential here, it could very easily be botched, but after this many episodes it hasn't slipped up yet, so hopefully everything will work out well. I like being hopeful. I'm pessimistic, but I can be hopeful sometimes. So what did you guys think? Let me know down in the Whatchamajig, and if you're watching this from the future when more episodes are out, no spoilers, please. At the time of this video, 91 Days is available for streaming from Crunchyroll if you happen to have access to it, but it has not been officially licensed at this time for home video just yet. Link in the description as per usual for a free trial of Crunchyroll's premium services, which will be necessary if you want to watch 91 Days or any other airing anime that they offer as new episodes are released. Thank you for joining me on this first reaction. If you'd like this sort of thing, hit the button to let me know. And if you have a suggestion for what you think I should talk about next, let me know down in the comments, though chances are I'm going to be doing it Anyway, man, I'm getting used to doing that spiel, aren't I? And until next time, ladies and gentlemen and others, stay frosty.